Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about crowdsourcing. Here's my handy little paper. Crowdsourcing, what is it? What are the benefits? What are the different forms of it? And some tips on how you can have effective crowdsourcing. Then I'm going to talk about a blog. It's all about hackathons. And then my technology is called ScreenFlow. All right, so for the article, what is crowdsourcing? Basically, it's a problem-solving approach used in the private sector, so probably like social marketing groups and like health communicators, and basically entails that you're engaging appropriate crowds for tasks throughout like the development process of your product. So the formal definition, according to my article, the act of a company or institution taking a function once performed by employees and outsourcing it to an undefined network of people in the form of an open call. So the open call would be like just trying to find talent out there, like they're seeking talent. Why is it beneficial? It can speed up and enhance the health communications, and also it engages individuals from different backgrounds, different perspectives. So you kind of get you get to have new perspectives, which is beneficial. Okay, so forms of crowdsourcing. The article talks about the first one's crowdfunding. So basically, these sites are trying to raise money for new and innovative ideas. So what you do is you post your video, your product, your idea on this website, and people are gonna donate money towards your cause. An example of this would be GoFundMe.com and Kickstarter.com. The second one it talks about is called crowd labor, and basically this is when individuals are recruited to perform specific tasks through online labor markets. So the agency will post this is what we're looking for, this is the job, this is the compensation, and then people will sign up through that website. And then this is generally for tasks that are repetitive and that computers can't do, and labor intensive. Okay, and then the third one is crowd research. So basically, this is when companies are trying to gather insights from audiences. And so this could be in the form of voting, or also what's called a market research online communities. So those are research panels where you're going to get individual feedback and it's more in depth. And then the fourth one is called creative crowdsourcing, and this is the new big thing. Basically, there's a problem that's posted online, and internet users are challenged to solve the problem, kind of like what we've been doing in class. And solving the problem, they can come up with different apps, different programs, different kinds of things like that. And they're awarded prizes, and the companies use their ideas for their own gain. So it's kind of both kind of benefit. And the article also talks about tips for getting better results from creative crowdsourcing. So it says you want to create motivations for participation, what they call the 4 F's: fun, fulfillment, fame, and fortune. And then you also want to engage a certain kind of crowd depending on where you are in the process of your product. They call it the bow tie technique. I drew it on this piece of paper. If you're in the research part of your product, you want to engage 90% of the intended users online. If you're in the creation part, you're actually engineering, making your product, you're gonna cater to a 1% development engineer kind of population. And if you are trying to test your product out, you're right here, and this is you're only going to use 9%. And then when you're trying to spread word about your product, it's 100%. So that's the bow tie technique. And yeah, that's pretty much my article. Basically, it talks about crowdsourcing, what it is, benefits, forms, and tips. All right, moving on to the hackathon. My blog was about 10 steps or 10 tips for success in hackathons. This one's more from the perspective of a person who's doing that hackathon, not the agency who's holding it. But giving a little background about hackathons, they're basically 24 to 48 hour events in which your team's going to build up a prototype for a product. And usually it's for a web or a mobile app. That's what the blog said, but I guess it kind of can vary. So basically, there are 10 tips. Number 1, set realistic expectations. So build something that's actually it works and it's demoable. Don't try to build something that's really, really great, but you run out of time because there's only a certain amount of time you can build it. You want to have like number 2, you want to have a talented team, so make sure you have the right people. We talked about that last week. A developer, designer, make sure it's well-rounded. Number 3, get to know the vendors and sponsors. Number 4, do your homework. So it says study the APIs before the exam. And APIs are application programming interfaces. They specify how some software components should interact with each other. So technical language. So understand how these work before you get there. And then it also suggested for number 5, use GitHub for version control. So you want to set up what they call a repository on GitHub. What it does, it'll keep track of your software revisions, and it allows developers to work on like a project all at the same time. Like they don't have to have a connection to a common network. Number 6, it says use a PaaS for deployment and hosting. PaaS stands for Platform as a Service. It's a category of cloud computing services that provides a computing platform and a solution stack as a service. So he's suggesting you get familiar with this process. Number 7, take frequent breaks once you're at the hackathon. Number 8, so he suggests that you envision your ideal demo and then work backwards. And he also suggests that you use a software called ScreenFlow, which I'm going to talk about later. And then number 9 says use an HTML framework. So he suggests that you use Twitter, Bootstrap, or Zurb to build a prototype without having to write a CSS yourself. And number 10 is have fun. So that's self-explanatory. Okay, and for my technology, I'm going to talk about ScreenFlow. Basically, it's a way for hackers to market their new products that they've made. So it's screen recording on your computer. It's like a software that you can download from the internet that provides screen recording and editing for high quality demos, videos, like video tutorials, presentations. So like what you just created on your computer, instead of taking your phone and taking a video of your computer, it's going to do the screen recording of what you just made. And it's really cool. The editing is really cool. You can add words onto your video, create transitions, and you can export it right to YouTube. So yeah, it's a really useful technology. Okay, thank you.